Most people overlook dimes, but some are hidden treasures. Certain Roosevelt dimes are worth serious money to collectors. Before you spend that dime, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss the next valuable coin alert. The year 1980 may not seem so distant in the grand timeline of U.S. coinage, yet even coins minted in this modern era can sometimes hold secrets worth small fortunes. Among them is the 1980 U.S. one-dime coin, a piece of currency so ordinary that millions of Americans have handled it, spent it, and forgotten it without giving it a second thought. But what makes this coin fascinating is that certain rare examples have been discovered carrying errors and conditions that elevate their value far beyond the 10 cents stamped on their face. Some of these 1980 Roosevelt dimes have sold at staggering prices ranging anywhere from $46,000 to $126,000, making them among the most desirable modern-era rarities that collectors actively chase today. The 1980 dime belongs to the Roosevelt series, a coin that has been in circulation since 1946, issued in honor of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt after his passing. By 1980, the dime had already been struck in copper-nickel-clad composition for over a decade, having transitioned from its original 90% silver format in 1965, when silver was removed from most U.S. coinage. That meant the 1980 dime had no intrinsic silver value, making it even more surprising that certain specimens could be worth tens of thousands of dollars today. This value stems not from metal content but from extreme rarity, unusual minting errors, and pristine conditions that set these coins apart from the hundreds of millions minted that year. To understand the importance of the 1980 dime, let's first reflect on its design. The obverse features the left-facing portrait of President Franklin Roosevelt, sculpted by John R. Sinek, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver at the time. His initials JS can be seen at the truncation of the neck, though these initials sparked early controversy, as some mistakenly thought they referred to Joseph Stalin. By 1980, of course, the controversy had long faded, and Roosevelt's profile had become an enduring fixture in American pocket change. The reverse of the dime carries a torch at the center, flanked by an olive branch to the left and an oak branch to the right, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and one dime complete the design. Now, what makes certain 1980 dimes so valuable? The first and most obvious reason is mint errors. These are coins that, for one reason or another, were struck abnormally and escaped detection at the mint. In 1980, the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced dimes for circulation, while San Francisco focused on proof issues. Across all these locations, error coins have surfaced. Some of the most dramatic and valuable include off-center strikes, where the design is shifted noticeably to one side, leaving a portion of the coin blank. These off-center dimes, especially those with a large percentage of the blank showing but still displaying the date, can command thousands. Even more exciting are double strikes, where the coin was struck twice, creating overlapping images of Roosevelt or the reverse design. Such dramatic errors can push values into the five-figure range depending on condition. Another category of rarity involves missing mint marks. In 1980, dimes produced at Denver and San Francisco carried the D and S mint marks respectively, while those from Philadelphia bore no mark. However, error-proof coins from San Francisco, missing their S mint mark, have become legendary in modern numismatics. The most famous example of a missing S mint mark coin occurred in 1975 with proof dimes, but some 1980 issues have been reported with unusual mint mark varieties that collectors chase with enthusiasm. A missing mint mark proof dime from 1980, especially in flawless condition, can soar into the upper tier of values and land comfortably within that astonishing $46,000 to $126,000 range. Then comes the factor of condition. Most 1980 dimes circulated heavily and show wear, scratches, and signs of daily use. But a very small number were preserved in pristine, gem-quality condition, untouched by circulation. When these coins are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC at mint state 67, 68, or even 69, their rarity skyrockets. Collectors are willing to pay incredible sums for top-grade coins, even of modern issues. A flawless proof coin from 1980 with perfect deep cameo contrast between its mirrored fields and frosted devices could fetch astonishing prices at auction. It is this combination of rarity and perfection that explains why certain 1980 dimes have sold for values that boggle the mind. Imagine the thrill of finding one of these treasures. A dime that looks ordinary at first glance, maybe one sitting in an old collection, a forgotten roll of coins in a drawer, or even tucked inside a jar of spare change. To most people, it's just 10 cents. But to a knowledgeable collector or dealer, the details might reveal a different story altogether. A misplaced mint mark, a doubling in the lettering, a flawless shine untouched by circulation. All of these could turn a simple dime into something worth tens of thousands. This is the magic of coin collecting, the possibility of discovering hidden value in the smallest and most unassuming objects. Auction houses have played host to some of the most exciting stories involving the 1980 dime. Collectors bid passionately when one of these rarities crosses the block, knowing that opportunities are few and far between. A rare proof error or high-grade variety can spark a bidding war, with prices climbing into the tens of thousands in mere moments. These auction results provide a glimpse into the enthusiasm and demand surrounding modern rarities, and the 1980 dime stands as one of the highlights. When collectors see numbers like $46,000 to $126,000 associated with a coin from their own lifetime, it only fuels the excitement and expands the reach of the hobby. Beyond its market value, the 1980 dime also tells a cultural story. By that year, America was on the cusp of change, transitioning from the 1970s into a decade of new politics, new technologies, and new cultural moments. The coins of 1980, including the dime, serve as tiny time capsules of that era. They connect us to everyday life in the late 20th century, what people carried in their pockets, what they used to pay for gas, groceries, and newspapers. To hold a 1980 dime today is to hold a link to that period, whether or not the coin happens to be a rare treasure. But of course, for collectors, the dream is always to uncover that special example, the one coin that stands out from the millions. That's what keeps people searching through rolls of coins from banks, scanning proof sets from the mint, and examining every small detail with a magnifying glass. For the 1980 dime, the possibilities are real, and the rewards can be life-changing. Think about it. A coin meant to be worth 10 cents turning into a payday of up to $126,000. That's the kind of story that turns casual observers into passionate collectors and keeps the world of numismatics alive and thriving. The Roosevelt dime series has produced its fair share of rarities across the decades, from the famous 1949S to the rare 1975 No-S proof dime. The 1980 dime, with its own rarities and high-grade treasures, adds to that legacy. It reminds us that valuable coins are not confined to centuries past but can be found even in the modern era. And it reinforces one of the most important lessons for collectors. Always look closely, because the smallest details often make the biggest difference. For anyone who has a handful of old change or a forgotten coin collection, the 1980 dime is a perfect example of why it's worth taking a second look. A simple inspection could reveal an off-center strike, a doubled die, or a proof coin missing its mint mark. Each of these errors transforms the coin from a common dime into a numismatic prize. And when that coin hits the open market, its value could fall into that extraordinary range of $46,000 to $126,000. A range that almost defies belief for something so small and ordinary. The 1980 dime proves that treasure isn't always gold or silver. It can be found in the smallest of places, in a coin we pass over every day. For collectors, it's a symbol of possibility, the idea that you never know what extraordinary discoveries are waiting right in your pocket. For historians, it's a marker of an era, a coin that reflects both America's ongoing tribute to Franklin Roosevelt and the mint's modern production challenges. And for those lucky enough to find one of the rarest examples, it's a life-changing piece of metal, a dime worth a fortune. The 2006 US one-dime coin, often overlooked as just another everyday piece of pocket change, holds a much deeper story than many people realize. Most people handle dimes countless times in their lives, tossing them into change jars, paying parking meters, or sliding them into vending machines, without stopping to think about the artistry, history, or potential value hiding in such a small coin. Yet, hidden among the millions of 2006 Roosevelt dimes produced are rare and unique examples that have fetched incredible amounts on the collector's market, some reaching prices ranging from $37,000 to $105,000. This astonishing jump from 10 cents to tens of thousands of dollars is what makes the world of coin collecting so captivating and why the 2006 dime deserves a closer look. The dime has long been one of the most essential and enduring coins in U.S. circulation. Since 1946, it has carried the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, as a tribute to the president who guided the country through the Great Depression and World War II, and who played a pivotal role in establishing the March of Dimes to combat polio. By the time 2006 arrived, the Roosevelt dime design had already been in use for 60 years, yet its place in American pockets and purses remained strong. The obverse of the 2006 dime features the well-known profile of President Roosevelt facing left, with the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date 2006 carefully inscribed. Below Roosevelt's neck lies the designer's initials, JS, a detail that many everyday people don't even notice. On the reverse, the design carries a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength and independence. The inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and one dime round out the design. Simple yet deeply symbolic. In 2006, the U.S. Mint produced dimes at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints for circulation, as well as proof coins at the San Francisco Mint. With millions produced, the average 2006 dime is extremely common. However, within that enormous production run, a tiny number of extraordinary specimens emerged, and these are the coins that transform an ordinary dime into a treasure worth $37,000 to $105,000. The key factors that elevate a 2006 dime to such staggering values are condition and minting errors. Most coins struck for circulation pick up marks, scratches, and wear almost immediately. Coins that survive in pristine, high-grade condition are rare. A dime graded MS-68 or MS-69 by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC is almost impossible to find, and collectors compete fiercely for them. These high-grade examples often sell for thousands, and when combined with unique qualities, the values can soar into the five-figure range. But it isn't just about condition. Errors play a huge role in determining value. Coin errors are accidents that happen during the minting process, and they create one-of-a-kind pieces. Collectors prize these errors because they are rare, fascinating, and visually striking. For the 2006 dime, some of the most valuable errors include off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin was not properly aligned when struck. Double strikes, where the coin receives more than one impression. Die clashes, where parts of the design are stamped where they don't belong. And wrong planchet errors, where the dime design is struck on the wrong type of metal blank point. One of the most dramatic and valuable types of errors involves transitional planchets or coins struck on blanks intended for another denomination, such as a cent or foreign coin. When this happens, the mistake creates a rarity that collectors recognize immediately as something extraordinary. A 2006 dime with such an error can sell for staggering prices, pushing it into that jaw-dropping range of $37,000 to $105,000. Auction houses have provided some of the most exciting moments for the 2006 dime. Stories of coins being sold for tens of thousands of dollars have rippled through the collecting world, sparking interest and curiosity. Collectors and investors alike pay attention to these sales because they demonstrate that even modern coins can command prices once thought reserved only for centuries-old rarities. For example, a seemingly ordinary 2006 dime with the right combination of flawless condition and a dramatic error can leave seasoned collectors fighting to outbid each other. What makes this even more thrilling is that these coins can still be found in circulation. While rare, stories of collectors or even everyday people stumbling upon error dimes and change are not unheard of. The possibility of finding a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars in your pocket adds a layer of excitement to daily life. It turns every handful of change into a potential treasure hunt. The story of the 2006 dime is also one of perspective. To the untrained eye, a dime is just a dime, small, silver-colored, and often overlooked because of its size. But to collectors who understand the nuances of coinage, the design details, the minting process, and the quirks that can produce rare errors, this dime becomes a canvas for history, artistry, and chance. Each error tells a story of how the rigid precision of the mint briefly faltered, creating a one-of-a-kind coin that slipped into the world. The enduring appeal of the Roosevelt dime series adds another layer to the story. Though many collectors focus on older coins like Morgan dollars or early large cents, the Roosevelt dime has carved out a special place in American numismatics. It bridges history and modernity, tying together the legacy of a beloved president with decades of everyday commerce. A 2006 dime in particular sits in the middle of that long timeline, modern enough to feel familiar but old enough to carry intrigue. For collectors, the chase is half the fun. Finding a flawless 2006 dime or an error example is like discovering a hidden gem in plain sight. It is this chase that drives the fascination with coins, reminding us that value isn't always about gold or silver content, but about rarity, story, and demand. The fact that a dime minted less than 20 years ago can command up to $105,000 proves that numismatics is as much about passion and surprise as it is about history. Think about it. A coin designed to be worth just 10 cents, used casually in everyday life, has the potential to change hands for the price of a luxury car or even a small home. That is the magic of coin collecting, the way an ordinary object can suddenly reveal extraordinary worth. The 2006 dime, in its rarest forms, stands as a perfect example of this phenomenon. For anyone curious about whether they might own one of these treasures, the advice is simple. Look closely at your coins. Pay attention to the details, the condition, and any unusual features. A misaligned design, extra markings, or an unusually perfect surface could be the key to unlocking thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. Professional grading and authentication are essential steps, but the first step begins with awareness. The 2006 US dime is not just a coin. It's a symbol of how much value can hide in plain sight. From its classic Roosevelt design to the extraordinary rarities that have captured collectors' imaginations, this dime proves that history, art, and chance all converge in the world of numismatics. For the lucky few who find or own one of these rare pieces, the leap from 10 cents to $37,000 or even $105,000 is life-changing. And for the rest of us, it's a reminder to never overlook the smallest details, because sometimes the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise. The 2014 one-dime coin may seem like nothing more than 10 cents of everyday change, but for collectors, it holds an incredible story of value, rarity, and surprising worth. Many people handle dimes without giving them a second thought, passing them along at the checkout counter, tossing them into a piggy bank, or letting them roll around in the bottom of a pocket. But what most don't realize is that among the millions of 2014 dimes minted, there are rare examples that have commanded astonishing sums of money in the collector's market. Some of these coins, under the right conditions, can sell for as much as $33,000 to $90,000, an unbelievable leap from their face value of just 10 cents. The dime itself is one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. currency. Since 1946, the dime has featured the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, honoring his legacy after his passing in 1945. Designed by John R. Sinek, the obverse showcases Roosevelt's portrait with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, the mint mark, and the date. The reverse features a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. It's a design that has remained essentially unchanged for decades, becoming one of the longest-running series in U.S. coinage history. And within that design, the 2014 issue carries its own fascinating place. The year 2014 saw Roosevelt dimes minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia and Denver produced business strike coins intended for circulation, while San Francisco issued proof and silver-proof versions for collectors. Tens of millions were struck that year, meaning that the vast majority of 2014 dimes are still only worth face value. But within the massive production runs of the U.S. Mint, perfection is exceedingly rare, and mistakes can sometimes occur. This is where things get interesting. High-grade specimens and error coins from 2014 have become sought after by serious collectors, and it's these coins that have entered the marketplace with values reaching between $33,000 and $90,000. 0.1 reason for the enormous price range is condition. Coin grading plays a crucial role in determining value, with the Sheldon scale measuring quality from 1 to 70. A dime graded at the highest levels, MS68 or MS69, can be extraordinarily rare, especially for modern issues. Most coins, Even if uncirculated, pick up small nicks, scratches, or contact marks during the minting and distribution process. Finding one that survived in nearly flawless condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. When collectors see such a coin at auction, they know it could be the best of the best, and they are willing to pay thousands of dollars for the privilege of owning it. This is exactly why some 2014 dimes in near-perfect condition have reached jaw-dropping figures, with auctions recording sales in that $33,000 to $90,000 range. Beyond high grades, errors are another factor driving these incredible prices. Mint errors are unintentional mistakes that occur during production, and because they are rare, they tend to be highly collectible. Some 2014 dimes have surfaced with off-center strikes, leaving part of the design missing and exposing a blank crescent of metal. Others may have been struck on improperly prepared planchets or even on blanks intended for other denominations, such as nickels or foreign coins. Double dies, where parts of the design appear slightly duplicated, are another fascinating type of error that collectors actively pursue. When a 2014 dime combines its modern issue date with a dramatic and rare error, it suddenly becomes a piece of numismatic art, capable of selling for tens of thousands of dollars. The collector demand for modern dimes also adds to their value. Many enthusiasts focus on completing date and mint mark sets, striving to own one example of each Roosevelt dime from 1946 to the present. While most dates are common, certain high-grade modern coins are notoriously difficult to obtain. The 2014 dime falls into this category, as finding flawless coins in circulation is nearly impossible. For collectors chasing registry sets, which are competitive collections graded and ranked by professional services, securing a top-rated 2014 dime becomes essential. Competition in these registry rankings often drives prices far beyond what most casual collectors would expect, and this explains why a coin worth 10 cents can suddenly be worth $33,000 to $90,000. It's also important to consider the role of the San Francisco Mint proof coins. Proofs are struck with specially prepared dies and polished blanks, resulting in a mirror-like finish and sharp details. These coins were never intended for circulation, only for collectors. While most proofs hold modest premiums, ultra-high-grade examples with perfect cameo contrast can achieve impressive results at auction. A 2014 S-proof dime graded PR70 Deep Cameo, for instance, could sell for significantly more than its original issue price, especially if it is one of only a handful certified at that grade. In rare cases, these proof coins too can break into the extraordinary value range, depending on rarity and demand at the time of sale. Stories of discovery also fuel interest. There have been cases of people unknowingly holding on to modern dimes for years, only to later discover that their coin was worth a small fortune because of a hidden error or pristine condition. Tales like these spread quickly in the collecting world, adding excitement and anticipation. It encourages people to look more closely at their own pocket change or coin jars, knowing that a life-changing discovery could be sitting there unnoticed. The 2014 dime is one of those coins that keeps that dream alive. Auctions provide the most concrete evidence of this phenomenon. When a rare 2014 dime appears, it sparks fierce competition among bidders, both in person and online. Collectors know that opportunities to secure such pieces are limited, and missing out could mean waiting years for another chance. It is during these auctions that prices escalate, sometimes shockingly so, with coins achieving results far above initial estimates. The $33,000 to $90,000 range seen for certain 2014 dimes is a testament to how much passion and money collectors are willing to pour into securing one of these modern rarities. What makes the story of the 2014 dime so fascinating is the blend of ordinary and extraordinary. On one hand, it is one of the most common coins in circulation, a small silver-colored piece that passes through countless hands each day. On the other hand, it can be a treasure, a coin that defies expectation and redefines what a dime can be worth. This duality captures the imagination of both seasoned collectors and everyday people alike. The Roosevelt dime series has always been popular, but in recent years, the spotlight has shifted toward modern issues like the 2014 release. Collectors who once ignored newer dates are now paying closer attention, knowing that overlooked coins can turn out to be some of the most valuable. This trend has reshaped the way people think about collecting, proving that you don't need to go back a century or more to find rare treasures. The 2014 dime embodies this new era of collecting, where modern coins can be just as valuable as classic ones as time goes on. The number of surviving high-grade 2014 dimes will naturally diminish. Coins get spent, scratched, or lost, and the pristine examples become even rarer. This scarcity ensures that demand will remain high, and prices will likely continue to climb. Collectors who secure one of these rare dimes now are not just holding a piece of modern currency, but also making an investment in the future of numismatics. For anyone who encounters a 2014 dime, it's worth paying close attention. Look carefully at its condition. Does it have any unusual marks or features? Could it be an error coin? Is it remarkably well preserved, free of scratches and blemishes? These are the clues that can separate an ordinary dime from one worth $33,000 to $90,000. The possibility of such a discovery is what makes coin collecting so exciting. The idea that treasure can be hidden in plain sight, waiting to be found. The 2014 one-dime coin stands as a reminder that even the smallest pieces of change can hold immense stories and staggering value. It connects everyday life with the thrill of collecting, blending history, artistry, and rarity into a single tiny coin. Whether found in a pocket, a bankroll, or a collection, it represents the chance to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. And that is what keeps collectors searching, hoping, and dreaming.